to all that, but it's challenging sometimes not to be judgmental. It's challenging, not to, you know, really just go back at folks, kind of throw the same emotion and same, nonsensical stuff out there, and I get it. People are going through stuff, so you can't really go into it and get too deep and stuff like that. It may not even be smart for me to do this live stream, but for the most part, this is not directed at any particular person, you know, any particular event. Not that I am trying to direct it. I'm just speaking in general right now. I'm really just speaking in general, and I'm just saying sometimes when you're dealing with situations, when you're dealing with emotions, when you're dealing with people, that's what happens. What's going on? Thank you, Big Tender, for coming through. Big Tender 1982, thank you for coming by, showing that love, that support. I appreciate that. Yeah, so sometimes just being frustrated with different things, just emotions and stuff like that of people, and it's not like I said, this is not just one situation or one particular person. Sometimes it's a culmination of things. It's hard not to be judgmental. It's hard not to say, you know what, screw you, screw your problems, leave me be. I'll be all right. You'll be all right. And the reality is, it doesn't work that way. Judge not lest you be judged. Same measure of judgment to be judged against you. It's almost like an eye for an eye, two for a two for something like that, or karma coming around to you. However that thing particularly works. You know, um, it's not always the easiest thing, but for the most part, you deal with it. Like I said, I look deep into the soul. I look into who I am as a person, and I say, you know what, regardless of where folks is at, that's what happens. Yeah, what's going on, Brown Dwarf? I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? Um, I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling, man. Just going through the days, just trying to make it all work out and whatnot. Thank you for the two people that are in here. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate you folks for rocking out with me on a Friday night. Just sitting here relaxing, just coming out of work or whatever the case may be. Not too long ago, I wound up buying some things that I don't remember purchasing. I don't know if anybody's had a Mountain Dew Ice, but that's another story. We ain't gonna get into all that. Yeah, but this is just about emotions and stuff like that. How hard it can be, not to be judgmental. How hard it can be, Organ was always looking for Bigfoots. That's funny, Brown Dwarf. Yeah, you gotta look for those Bigfoots. Yeah, but I don't know. It's just you don't want to be judgmental towards folks. You don't want to say screw folks and screw their problems and whatnot. You're number three. Thank you, number three, Road King. I appreciate you. Like I said, it's a challenge though. It's a challenge, man. It's a challenge not to just tell folks to kick rocks and go their way and whatnot. Sometimes you really don't want to go for it. Sometimes you really don't want to deal with other people's emotions, other people's problems. Sometimes you're just like, look, man, let me be. Sometimes you can get really judgmental towards folks and the things that they're going through. And I have to constantly remind myself that sometimes, a lot of times out there, people are going through a lot worse things than me. Even those people that lash out, even those people that get emotional, even those people that are going through, whatever they're going through. Sometimes you don't really care about that because, who's there for you when you're going through stuff. But, it is about the humanity, it is about the sensibility, it is about understanding that, when you're going through stuff, you don't want to be judged. You don't want to be treated a certain way. You try to treat people the way you want to be treated, even if folks don't treat you the way that you think they should. What's going on, Dr. Fish? Thank you for hitting the like. Thank you for the folks that have come by on this Friday night, in and out. I understand you folks got things to do, so I don't judge you for it. How am I? Frustrated right now, Dr. Fish. Just a little frustrated, but I'm coming down off of my frustration. I deal with my frustration and my anger pretty well, saying listen to music, just, say a prayer, watch a video. Just wait when folks realize Bigfoot's are real, it will change the world. Yes, I understand, Brown Dwarf. It will change the world. Bigfoot's are real. Yeah, I mean, but my frustrations, will quell. I will quench my thirst with some food that I bought and some drinks and stuff like that. Some libation that I brought from the outside world into the home. That's what I will do. But the frustration is there. And one of the things I do, I talk about it with you folks on here, and I think about it, and I try not to lash out back and be judgmental or be ignorant and, come back at folks because it's easy to sometimes. And in fact, in a lot of ways, people may want you to. And then you have to realize that sometimes people are just coming from a place where they're hurting, where they need healing, where they need understanding. They need somebody to listen to them, and they just need somebody that, they could trust to care about them in a situation. What's going on, Groovy Blue 18? Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. Like I said, this is just about being judgmental. It's easy. It's easy to do, and it's hard not to do sometimes. But you fight with it. Yeah, or overstanding. There you go. Good evening, Tiger. 65. Appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Hopefully, we can keep it respectful tonight. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, smile for me right quick. But yeah, sometimes you just get a little frustrated dealing with folks and whatnot. And it's not that you want to hurt anybody or whatever the case may be. It's just, sometimes you just say to yourself, wow, as people, how do we do it sometimes? How do we deal with each other, and the emotions and the problems and the angst and the imperfections. You say, oh, this, creator up there, you look up and be like, wow, what do you see with us? Did you just shout out? Did you just do a shout out from my vlog on the week of Saturday? Just did a shout out on you for my vlog in the week of Sunday. Well, I gotta check that out. The shout out. Thank you for the shout out. Humans are the worst. Sometimes humans can be the worst. I'm not gonna lie. And this is not to bash anybody. This is not to tear anybody down or break anybody down in any kind of way. This is just saying how dealing with emotions, dealing with, our imperfections, perplexities and things like that. It's rough. It's challenging. And you have to remember that that person on the other side is going through something. Sometimes it's something that you care about. Sometimes it's something you really don't. And then you have to remind yourself, because you're awesome with these live streams. I appreciate you, Tiger. I appreciate you. Am I awesome with these live streams? I'm probably realistic with the live streams. What's awesome about my live streams, even a live stream like this, where I don't know where it's going to go, is you, the listener, the viewer, the person that gives the thumbs up, the people that give the shout out, the person that, just comes by and gives a comment or uplifting thoughts, or sometimes even a troll comment, which, I say, not to get, too out of bounds or out of whack. You know, I don't know. It's just one of those days. I'm not even going to lie to you. Try to keep it funky with you. It's just, sometimes you just got to, you know, release, man. Just, untighten your chest. I watch other people's live streams and they sit there looking for money support. Nah, I'm not looking for money support here. You don't troll, you dwarf. That's cool. But not all a lot. Yeah, well, for those people looking for money support, I don't judge them. I don't judge them. I don't agree with them, but I don't judge them. What does Shakespeare says? He says, "Judge the fault, not the actor of it." And it's a challenge not to be judgmental. Let me be more specifically, not to be judgmental towards people. That's what the thing is. To be judgmental towards people, sometimes you have to separate the fact that the fault is wrong, the thing is wrong that a person may have done, but the person could be going through something. People can change. To be judgmental is to say that a person is one way and they'll never change. A person is always going to be the way that they are, and there's no deviation. There's no lineage where things can become something else. It could turn into something worthwhile, and it could just make your chest tight. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It could just take you somewhere that you really may not want to go. But you learn to deal with it. You learn to face it. You learn to just address it and take it on. I pray for strength to deal with it all. The good, the bad, the ugly. And some days, you just get the weird, the different. Sometimes you're taken to places you really don't want to go. And when dealing with people, it's important not to make it about you. And that's where the judgment comes a part of it. Not making it about you, not making it about your feelings, not making it about how that person may have wronged you, or how that person may have made you feel. Sometimes it is important, a lot of times it's important to see where that other person is coming from, what they may be experiencing, and just look at it realistically. Some folks may be into that, a lot of folks may not, but, I get it, and that's just where I'm at with it. I'm just, flexing, stretching, growing, trying to be realistic and honest with myself as a human being and when I deal with other human beings. Every day ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Every day ain't all inspiration, you know. As I feel like I got to sneeze right now, but that's another story. Um, I don't know, man. I just try not to get my pressure up. Dealing with folks, man, dealing with situations and whatnot. Like I said, I wish peace to all people, as much as possible. I try to be peaceable with folks. It is what it is. It's challenging though. Some days I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend or stand here and pretend and play games with you. Like I said, my chest still tight, you know. But what are you gonna do? You get up, you work through it. You know what I'm saying? You do what you gotta do, and you keep it moving on to the next day. I'm just grateful for this moment right here in particular, and hopefully the next day is just better than the last. You know what I'm saying? Just hopefully I've learned and grown as a person, in each particular way, in any particular way. Just learn not to be, judgmental. Learn to have more love in my heart than hate. Not that I want to have hate in my heart, but you know, things happen. We're not perfect beings. We have dark, we have light in us. I think it was T.S. Eliot that says a man's greatest ability to do good is the same to do evil, if I'm not mistaken. I'm paraphrasing that, but you just find the balance between the yin and the yang always, always, between judging the fault and judging the person. Learning not to judge the people because what a person is today can be different the next day. You can be good in one sense, and you can be, you know, wicked in the next. I don't know. It really depends on where you are from moment to moment. Who you want to be from second to second and stuff like that, day to day. I mean, who are you now? Will you be the same person in the next 5 minutes or so? Will you be the same person the next day? Just because you do something that's negative, or just because you do something that, somebody may not agree with, doesn't mean that's who you are. That just means that you had a weak moment. In this life, there's strengths, there's weaknesses, as the old time has taught me. There's people who have weak moments, there's people who have strong moments. Sometimes the moments of weakness are attached to those negative things, those harsh things, those wicked things, those evil things, those dark things that we go into, those lustful things. Sometimes our strongest moments are connected to our righteousness, to our hope, to our love, to our dreams, to our honor, to our peace, our love, those type of things. Hopefully I'm making sense to you. So in life we have the weak people, the strong people, then the balance in between, between the weak and the strong, and what makes us weak, what makes us strong, So depends on what you believe, I guess. But I don't know. That's just where I'm at with it. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts, anything they want to say. If you agree, if you disagree, I seen Groovy Blue says something like that. So this is just where I'm at with it, on a Friday night. I try to be realistic. I say I know this is not the most exciting, action-packed vlog that you're gonna hear all night, but this is probably one of the most realistic ones that you're probably gonna see all night or all weekend, unless I do another one that's realistic. But that's another thing, I'll definitely be back doing my thing, just trying to wake up, keep it going, keep the grind, keep the watch time going. But in the midst of that, I'm just trying to give you real talk, real conversation and whatnot, And, realistically, it's a challenge, man. It's a challenge. But I try to meet that challenge, not being judgmental and always reminding myself that whoever I'm dealing with, well, persons, peoples, places, things, or whatever the case may be, it goes through something as well. Just as which I hope that when I go through stuff or I'm in a certain way that I'm given the same measure of judgment that I give somebody else, that I'm given the same grace, that I'm given the same peace, that I'm given the same room, platitude, latitudes, whatever you want to call it, the depth that I need, the space to grow, the space to vent, the space to do whatever I do. And sometimes we have to remember that stuff and be reminded that people need their space, People need their room to grow. They need their avenues to vent. They, whether you want to give it to them or not, sometimes folks just need that, particular moment, whatever that may be, and they don't need us to interfere with our emotions, with our fears, with our, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm thinking restitution, but with whatever angst that we have, when a person is going through something, the last thing I need to do is inject my judgment on their situation, as opposed to who I think they may be, So that's just really where I'm at with that, and here I am, you know. I appreciate the one person for still being here, Maybe all it takes is one person to listen and see it, and I appreciate the 5 thumbs up. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I appreciate you. I don't know if I'm gonna go to 20 minutes, but I don't know. Like I said, I've said some things here, and maybe folks agree with it. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Don't judge me. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if this is the most inspirational. I'm not even getting into all that. Like I said, we just having a conversation. I'm just talking. I can't get into all that. Folks want to listen. They want to listen. If they don't, they don't. That's just what it is. You're just mulling it over and working the thing out. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm just really being honest about it. I don't know if other folks want to be honest about it, and the situation and whatnot is a challenge. We are imperfect, creatures living in an imperfect world. Everybody's not always, up to board, up to speed. Everybody's not always, the most moral, the highest of the high. Everybody's not always, in a perfect heart and a pure heart. It's like that sometimes. Sometimes your own emotions can get the better of you when you're dealing with other people, and you have to check yourself. And I find myself having to check myself and having to, put my emotions at the door when dealing with somebody, when they're going through something, and when something is transpiring and going down, and realizing, hey, you know what? Maybe it's bigger than you. Maybe it's deeper than your own, opinion or your own judgment or your own fears, or your own, worries or concerns about a situation. What if that person who was annoying you, who was coming against you for whatever reason, maybe that person is actually going through something. Maybe that person has something that's, much bigger than the situation entails. And sometimes that's what it is. The case is that, what, people are really going through things, maybe a life-threatening disease, or maybe they lost a loved one, or, maybe they're just really facing something, really big. Like, let me give you a story. Since I got one person here, I'll give you a story. There was this man on a train, right? And he had like 3 kids on the train, right? So he's sitting there on the train. His kids are jumping all over the place and, excuse me, running around and, just knocking over cups of coffee and, going back and forth through the cars. And the man is sitting there, I'm not really paying attention and whatnot. And then one of the passengers, strap hangers or whatever, comes over to the man and says to the man, hey, you need to watch your children. They're running all over the place, and they're knocking stuff over and ripping up magazines and doing all kind of crazy stuff, on the train. And the man apologized. He looked up, shook his head, apologized, and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize." He got his kids back together. He says, "I'm sorry. I didn't realize what was going on. My wife died today." And then the passenger kind of looked back and just, almost was a gasp and said, "Wow, I'm sorry," and started apologizing and, tried to help him with the kids and gather himself and whatnot and just tried to wish him off well and to the best. And the reason I tell that story is because you never know what a person is going through. We look at a person, we judge them from the appearance of what's happening, but we really don't know. Somebody could be going through, you know, a disease, a terminal disease or something like that. And what's going on, Pete Kisses? Somebody could be, facing something that's really deep or emotional in their life. Maybe they lost a relationship or something like that. So, like I said, the story of the man on a train with the kids, it's a real thing. You could be in the middle of not really paying attention to the moment, but you're so lost, in what happened. So lost in that thing, and then people on the outside are looking at the appearance of it, and they're seeing what they see. We only see what's on the surface of a person, on the surface of a situation. But if we dig deeper, just a little bit deeper, you'll find out that there's something else that's much bigger than you, than the situation. There's something much bigger than what's going on. And I said hello to you, Pink Kisses. I'm just saying hello to you again. But yeah, so that's really just what that is. I mean, and I'm reminded of that, and I was reminded of that today, and it was good to be humbled and reminded of particular situations and talking about it and sharing it with you, maybe to help somebody. Maybe this live stream will benefit somebody. I know it will benefit somebody, just especially if you actually watched it back. I know people don't watch back live streams all the time, but hopefully somebody watches back this live stream. If that's a call to action, watch this live stream, listen to it from beginning to end, share it with somebody if you think this is helpful, if you think this is worth it. This is me expressing my raw emotions, my deep thoughts in a positive way, nothing negative, just being honest, being real as much as I can, you know. And like I said, hopefully there was something here that really, just impacted you and engaged you in a positive way, because like I said, I don't know, this is just my thoughts, what I'm saying, just my thoughts. Let me see what time it is before I go. It is 12:10. If there's anything anybody wants to say, please speak. Please say it. I don't know if there's any questions, any comments, any criticisms. I don't know if anybody's heard the story that I told. If you did, I encourage you to watch back into the earlier part of the live stream, or a few minutes ago. As far as that, you know what I need to start doing? With these live streams, I probably need to go back, watch the live streams, and tell people about the good parts, or the parts that they should watch, or stories or something like that. I was thinking about that timestamp. That's what you call it, timestamp. Maybe I need to start time stamping the live streams and saying, okay, this is the story, or this is that, or that's that. Maybe that's something. It's a lot of live streams to watch, right? Oh my God, maybe it's something I'll do from this one moving forward and whatnot. But for the most part, like I said, this has been a cool live stream. I don't know if anybody wants me to go longer. If anybody wants me to go longer and just talk a little bit more and expound on something else, please let me know. If not, I give it a couple of seconds. I give it about 10 seconds, and then I'll probably be out of here. You know. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're at the 10-second mark. Well, anyway, thank you for watching, folks. I appreciate you for coming by, even if you just were listening, even if you were cleaning your room, or going to the bathroom, or I don't know, reading a book while you were listening to me, or if you fall asleep with the sound of my voice. I appreciate that too. I appreciate the two people with a 7 thumbs up. I appreciate folks for sharing, resharing this, and just doing what you see fit for this. And that's where we at. Thank you. Uh, well, I appreciate you too as well. Pink Kisses, I appreciate you too as well. And I hope folks have a good weekend. You will see me again, soon, very soon, probably in the morning. But that's just what that is. I'm trying to think if that's it. If that's anything, I don't know. I don't think there's anything else that I really need to say. I don't want to hold you too much longer. So, again, thank you. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Thank you for watching. See you next time.